Hi, my name is Mwende, and I'd like to take us through a few tips and solutions that I use to achieve self-confidence and self-love. This has been requested by so many people who follow me on my Instagram, asking, so how did you reach that point of just loving yourself as you are? How do you reach that point where you actually carry yourself with confidence and no one can tell you anything? So I'd actually written about this before on my Instagram, but I don't think most people read read the descriptions below the photo. So here it is in a video form. I think it will be easier and fun. So these are tips that I use to ensure that I have self-confidence and I have self-love, and no matter what is thrown at me, I'm able to overcome it. So I think they can work for anyone, and most specifically can also work for the plus size ladies like me. Yeah, representing. So I'll make it a 2-part series. So the first one, ideally, will talk about the tips. Then the next video will talk about my story and how I overcame self-doubt and actually reached a point of, yo, I'm pretty, and yeah, so you take me as I am or you take me as I am. Like, there are no other options. So the first tip would be, number one, understand who you are, because I believe the most problematic thing that you have right now is most people don't know who they are. So if I ask you, who are you? Most of the times, the first answer will be you say your name, you say the career that you're actually doing. So you say, I'm a doctor or I'm a lawyer. Yes, I work for this company. I've been working for this long. You start talking about your family. You talk about your education. That is fine. And some even go and talk about their relationship status, and then end it with where they live. But you see, that question does not, that is a secondary description of who you are. When you're talking about primary description, you're talking about who are you as a person. So for example, if you ask me, I'd say my name is Mwende. I am passionate about body positivity. I'm passionate about empowering people. I'm very, very passionate about encouraging people to actually live life to the fullest. I like helping people move from a point of doubt and a point of darkness and take them to the light. I enjoy that. That makes me very happy. And another thing is, I love doing DIY. I just make things. I love making things. I don't know, like, I make my hair, I make clothes. Some of the clothes that I wear, I make them. So that's ideally describing who I am. I love color blue, I love color black and white. Color red irritates me. It just makes me feel so irritated. But you see, for me to reach a point to understand that I love this, I don't love doing this, I am this, I am not this, I had to actually sit down and do a SWOT analysis. I usually do that for companies and ideas, but many people don't think about doing that to themselves. So I sat down and actually analyzed, what are my strengths? I like talking, I like singing, those are my strengths. What are my weaknesses? Listed them down. So how can I use my strengths and weaknesses to take full advantage of the opportunities that I have and to evade the threats that actually faces a human being? Once I did that, I was able to find what I want to do in life, and the rest is history. We moved on. The second one would be, number 2, stop comparing yourself. The world as it is, no person is alike. Each person has their own path, their own life to follow, and their own life to live. So when we have that idea of, we see people looking a particular way and all of a sudden we want to look like that, it's only recent that you've been able to see plus size people being everywhere in the mainstream media. But before that, it was all about people who are very small, people who look a particular way. And I'm not saying the people are not beautiful. Oh my goodness, yes they are. But not all of us look like that. So you sit down and see, so this is how I look like. So start step by step learning how to love who you are and how you look like. And in that process, you'll be able to sit down and say, 1, I don't like this. So if I don't like this about myself, number 1, is it something I can change? If the answer is yes, so what am I going to do to start changing it? If the answer is no, then how am I going to start embracing it to become my flawsome self? Something that you flaunt, a flaw that becomes awesome becomes flawsome. Teresa one who used to say that. So without understanding yourself and without removing the act of comparing yourself, there's no way you'd actually have self-confidence and doubt. So when you remove that, you're one step closer Number 3 would be think positive thoughts. When it comes to how you present yourself and how you carry yourself, immediately you start somewhere to talk to people, or you enter a room and you already have a negative thought, automatically you project it outside. So if I sit somewhere and I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I have a big pimple on my cheek, I will behave in such a way everyone will start staring at my cheek, and eventually they will see the pimple that is there. So what I'd say is, when you get a negative thought, you need to combat it with positive thoughts immediately. There's a book I was reading, it's by Robin Sharma, it's called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. He was mentioning one negative thought should be combated immediately by 2 positive thoughts. So if you get something negative, if you think of something negative, look at yourself. If you've done step 1 and step 2, you understand yourself completely. So if, for example, for myself, acne is something that really bothers me, and something that I really struggle to try and overcome. So acne is my weakness. So I remember the days I wake up and I have a big pimple on my forehead, and I'd enter a room and I'd be like this the whole time. So I'd do this. So eventually people would see the pimple and be like, hey, what happened? Then other times I actually had boils on the side of my face, and I'd enter, smile, hug everyone, be happy, and no one would even talk about my acne. So because I decided, guys, I'm just going to be happy. So think positive thoughts. And in terms of positive thoughts, a tip I'd give you also is look at yourself in the mirror. Like when I wake up, I look at myself in the mirror and just say, you know what, Mosh, you're beautiful, you're amazing, and you're going to have a kick-ass day, okay? And as I keep walking, leaving home, going to work, those are things that I keep preaching and saying to myself over and over again. When I meet something that sounds difficult, I'm like, no, what, Mosh, take a breath. You're good. You're going to do this. What's this? Something that you can actually overcome. And guess what? It does. Even when things seem impossible, because of the positive thinking that I have, I'm able to project positive, and I'm also able to come up with solutions to problems. Okay, so think positively. The next thing would be number 4, accept your mistakes. So when it comes to loving yourself, it's a journey. You just don't wake up one day and you're like, guys, I am amazing, you all need to love me and everything. It takes time. And there are times you sit down and you start feeling, I feel so guilty. Why do I look like this? How did I get to this point? What do I need to do to move from this point? Or you look at photos and then all of a sudden, the only thing you can see in that photo is, I didn't suck in my stomach to look this way. Or you look at your presentations, for example, at work that you did, and so you're like, oh God, I should have changed this paragraph. I should have added that. So you see, this is dwelling on mistakes. So you need to just, number 1, accept that you're human. You do make mistakes, okay? Once you accept that mistake, you take the power that the mistake has over you and you make it to become a lesson. So you know, if, for example, like the example I've given, the photo, I don't like how my foot looked, so I'll stop taking photos. No. So you just know, next time when I'm taking a photo, I need to move my foot to look this particular way. Or if the work that I had printed doesn't look amazing, it means next time before I print, I need to counter check and confirm that this is okay. Then if it's presentations and you are stammering, you are afraid, it just means you need to take some time and practice in front of a mirror. So ideally, turn your mistakes into lessons and don't dwell or keep rehashing over and over again, and move on. Then now, once you've reached a point where you've known yourself, accepted your mistakes, now you move to the fun part. Get a makeover. So when I talk about a makeover, I'm not talking about something as drastic as cutting your hair, going and buying, 1,000,001 clothes. No. A makeover is, you've understood how you are. So like personally right now, I'm really feeling my shoulders. So most of the clothes that I buy are off shoulders to show off my shoulders that I'm really liking. They don't have to be expensive. But it's just about tailor-making everything to suit you specifically as a human being. So as a plus size person like myself, when I go buy clothes, I have a lower bottom. My lower bottom is bigger than my top. So you'd find I'll buy something that fits my lower bottom and the top part is so baggy and loose, so I have to take it to the tailor to make it slightly smaller. So I do that, and it's not something that bothers me anymore. It's just as a by the way. Then you sit down and you understand, so this is a body type that I have. So what am I wearing to show off my body in a way that everyone will be like, wow, that looks amazing. So if your shoulders are what you're feeling like I am right now, show your shoulders off. If you find a way of actually tailor making and making your clothes and everything you have suit you. So even with hair, this one looks better with me, so change and do that and all that. Then the next thing would be, now you've already now gotten the makeover, so you've started afresh. Now you set goals. So when it comes to goals, if you want to write them, if you want to sing them, if you want to record them, just set goals that you know that you'll be able to follow, that will actually keep you motivated and excited about life. So it's as little as saying, this week I will not have any negative thoughts about how I look. That's a goal that you need to set. And once you smash it, you now take a step further. Today I'll take a photo because I feel happy, and you take the photo and you feel happy and you leave and you're okay. So it's about setting simple goals and setting tough goals. You can't move from 0 to 100. You have to take steps. So the simpler ones first, you solve that, then you move to the ones that seem a bit complicated. And once you're done with that, I'm telling you, life becomes very easy. Then you sit down and ask yourself, what do I want to be? Like, what do I envision for myself? What do I ideally want to be? Who do I want to represent? How do I want to represent myself? If the individuals you know, who you think are confident, who you think have self-love, then you need to study what they're doing. So you see, watch videos about how they talk about self-love, read their books, watch those movies. Just keep feeding yourself with positive energy and set goals and say, today I'm going to be next so and so. Not comparing, aspire to do what so and so is doing, because I think if I have that in my life, I'll improve. Then the other tip would be, you do something that you really love. So this ideally is something with regards to combating bad days. So like I have the days I wake up and I'm like, guys, today I am not feeling it. I don't want anything. I went to buy clothes and nothing was fitting, or whatever I wanted, it was not there. So ideally, what you do now is you sit down and you ask yourself, what challenges am I facing? Like, when I leave here, what legacy do I want to leave? Like, what do I enjoy doing? Then like dedicate like 20 minutes, just 20 minutes to read a book. Any book. A book that is inspirational, motivational, something that will help you think outside your box. Then once you have read these books, they add value to your life. And you know, the reason why we're saying that, it's the book will help you get something out of yourself you didn't even know existed. So once that comes out, that becomes your new passion, it becomes your new purpose, it becomes something you love that you pursue with everything, something you know no one can tell you can't do, because you're amazing at it. Yeah, so I think those are the tips that I use. Something I'd like to add is, with this self-love and self-confidence journey, it's a journey ideally. It takes steps and it takes time. But for you to be able to move from 0 to 100, you need to be, number one, very honest with yourself. Number two, you need to be very patient. And number three, you need to be persistent. Because I tell you, there are days it will be very impossible, but there are days you just wake up and you feel happy. And also, I listen to music, like there are times you just need that little push, you know, the one that, yes, I've got 10 here, but you know, that song just gives you that little push that you need, and you're like, guys, let's go face the wall, let's do everything. So those are the tips that I use. Just try them and just tell me if any worked. And if you have tips that you actually use to practice self-love and have self-confidence and confidence in general, please also let me know. You know, this is a world of sharing. I don't have everything, so if you add, we didn't mind. Yeah, so thank you so much. This is my first video, so we'll just see how it goes. So watch out for part 2, where we'll actually now make it interesting. So thank you so much, and bye.